Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Nate Bible. I'm the District Attorney of Beaver County. And I'm really excited today to stand up here with our Attorney General and launch our LETI program here in Beaver County. So today, like I said, I'm excited. I'm very proud to partner with the Attorney General's office, with our local law enforcement agencies, with our Beaver County treatment providers, to bring this law enforcement treatment initiative here to Beaver County. Now, LETI is just another tool, essentially, for the tool belt of our law enforcement officers. It's going to be there to help combat the ever-growing issue that we face in our county of untreated mental health and untreated substance abuse issues. And oftentimes, this leads to high criminal activity. And what I think is so special about this program is it really empowers law enforcement officers to take that initial step. It allows them to seek the individuals in their community that could benefit from treatment. And, who better knows their communities than the people that police them every day. So I want to thank the Attorney General, Dave Sunday, for being here with us today. Many of our local chiefs are standing up here with me, as well as a lot of our local officials. And in fact, we have all three of our state representatives from Beaver County in here, Representative Matsey, Representative Kale, and Representative Kozak. Thank you guys for being here. Our sheriff is here, and all three of our commissioners, Commissioner Amadeo, Commissioner Manning, and Commissioner Camp. I know I saw him. He's there. There he is. Thank you, Dan, for being here. And, the fact that all you guys are here today is a little microcosm of what, makes Beaver County so special to me. And it really warms my heart. All those people that I just mentioned, are from different political parties. And, regardless of that political affiliation, we all work together to do what's best for the people that we serve. And we don't forget, who put us in office, and what they're asking us to do. So sincerely, thank you guys for being here. And even though some of you guys are probably here to see this tall, handsome drink of water next to me, but nonetheless, I do thank you for taking the time out and being here. So, I'm looking out in the room and I see some of you thinking, what is LETI? And well, I'm glad you asked, because I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. So, like I said earlier, the LETI program is just another tool for us to use to try to treat those who are in need in our county. Now, it has 3 tracks to it, and I'm going to kind of go in reverse order and talk about track 3 first. So track 3 somewhat mirrors a diversion program that we used to have here in Beaver County. So under track 3, an individual would be arrested and charged with a crime. This is typically a low-level offense that revolves somewhere around getting treatment. So it might be a minor drug offense, shoplifting, something like that we can identify as being able to treat. So that individual would come into central court. The attorneys would discuss, along with the law enforcement officers, a victim, if there's a victim in the case. And we would all collectively decide, can this person benefit from treatment, and are they a good candidate for it? So we have had that program here in Beaver County in the past, and it has had some success. Now, the second part of this is really what sets LETI apart. The second phase, the officer, can identify an individual, and prior to charging them, approach them and see if they're interested in getting treatment. So they would, assuming they have somebody on board that's willing to do it, they would contact our office, speak with myself or one of my ADAs, tell us kind of what's going on with it and why they think this person could benefit from treatment. If we all agree, we put them in contact with the LETI treatment providers, and, assuming that person successfully completes their treatment, those charges go away. And under the track 3, again, assuming they successfully complete their treatment, those charges typically get dropped, or maybe they plead to a much lesser offense. So with track 2, and again, that kind of goes to what I was saying earlier is, who better knows the people in their community than those that police it? So to kind of, look at somebody and say, hey, I could file these charges, but about we get you help today, I think is a very powerful thing, that these officers can now use. Track one, is kind of, what could be at least going on in our communities now. And, essentially under track one, there's no crime that's been committed, but the officers, identify somebody that could benefit from treatment. Now we just kind of have a little more of a streamlined process, I guess, of, if an officer identifies somebody, they can call our office and we could put them in contact with the LETI providers. So, Beaver County, we're catching up, but we're a little behind when it comes to treatment, or at least different treatment courts. So, we have a veterans court that we've had for probably over 10 years. It's been very successful, but it's really limited to just veterans. We have a family law court that is a little newer, couple years. It's been in the works and it's starting to pick up traction. But, we're lacking areas where if you're not a veteran or you don't have a family, that treatment is available for you. So I'm very happy to say that, in addition to this program, we are starting a treatment court in Beaver County. I hope to have, I hope that we have that up and running maybe by the end of the year. Might be a little too optimistic, but that'll help to kind of fill the gaps. And that's also what LETI does. So, these programs exist, to sort of fill the gaps. While the treatment courts are a little more for high-risk individuals, LETI focuses on, more low-level crimes and trying to correct people before they get too far down that path. So we cannot, do this without the assistance and the partnership of the Attorney General's office. I especially want to thank Lauren Diller for all her hard work in getting this program off the ground. She's will be coming back out for training. She's going to meet with the different law enforcement officers to kind of train the officers on how to identify these things and what the process looks like. And she's just worked very hard to get LETI into Beaver County. So I first actually met Lauren at a CJAB conference, and she was doing a breakout session on LETI. And, I sat through it. There were some officers there that talked about, how great the program was in their county, gave some very specific success stories on people that they have helped. And I immediately thought it was a great thing. So, in fact, I approached her at that time. It just took a little while for us to kind of get it going. Largely it's my fault, but she stuck with it. She kept asking me about it. And she's a large reason why that is here. So thank you, Lauren. I owe you lunch. Maybe I'll get you a 6-piece or something. So it's now my honor. It's now my honor to introduce the Attorney General of Pennsylvania, David Sunday. I had the pleasure of knowing Dave when he was the DA in York County. And, the first time I met him was probably I don't even know that I had been sworn in yet and was just newly elected. And they put on kind of a special training for some new DAs. And Attorney General Sunday was there, teaching and helping people, helping kind of bring those new DAs along. And I immediately realized at that time that we share a lot of the same goals. We certainly believe in punishment and accountability, but we also believe in treatment and rehabilitation. Almost everybody who goes to jail will come back out of jail. And it benefits all of us to have them rehabilitated and to be productive members of society again. We also very strongly believe in protecting, the most vulnerable members in our society. And keeping our community safe so that businesses and schools and the community in general can flourish. So, Attorney General Sunday, in the time that I've known him, he's much more concerned with getting the job done than he is with taking credit for things. And, he's a very humble man. And, the elected officials in the room, the first time that you ran for your particular office, you don't pass up an opportunity to shake someone's hand, tell them who you are, and tell them what office you're running for. And the first 2 times that I met Dave Sunday, he was purely there to help. And, he was there to answer questions and to guide the new, elected DAs along. So it wasn't until the 3rd time I met him that I even knew that he was running for Attorney General. So So that just kind of, goes to show you a little bit about the type of guy he is. So, and he has continued, to make his former colleagues in the DA's office proud, with all the good work that he continues to do. So thank you for being here, Attorney General Sunday.
Thank you, my friend.
Absolutely.
District Attorney Bible, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me. I can't tell you, that was one of the most unique intros I think I've ever received. And well, I don't know if I'll get that again, so I might come back here again. But no, it's it's an absolute honor to be here. I can't tell you how grateful I am for the leadership in this room. And a couple of people, a couple things I want to say before I start talking about how important this is. But the first thing I want to talk about are the police officers that are standing here behind me. So this is the leadership. These are the police chiefs. And, the reality is in today's society, we ask police officers to do a million things. We ask them to be domestic violence counselors, mental health counselors. We ask them to have the answer to literally every single problem that comes up, and the solution to every issue, oftentimes 10 times within one shift. And it's unbelievably stressful. We sometimes forget that in America, when we call 911, someone comes to our house. If you think about that, there's a lot of places where that doesn't exist. And so I want to take a minute to always recognize all of the police officers that aren't standing here with us, that are out there, doing traffic stops and doing the unbelievably hard work that could result in harm to themselves every single day. And this entire initiative, the reason why it's a law enforcement treatment initiative is because it's an initiative that is really a tool to be utilized by law enforcement to put them in a position where they can achieve a lot of the public safety goals we ask them to do in a safe way. So I always want to make a point to say that this program wouldn't exist here if it wasn't for the district attorney. The DA's got to sign off. The DA has to be a leader in this. And so District Attorney Bible, thank you for your leadership on this issue. Within the AG's office, Lauren Diller worked very hard to put this together. And I want to say that, there were 3, I think, state reps mentioned. So we have State Rep Matsy, Kale, and Kozak in here. And as an attorney general, we can't do the job without the collaborative work and partnership with our legislators. And when you talk about issues such as mental health, public safety, so many things, human trafficking, there is no one that's not on board with that type of work. I couldn't do it without you. So thank you for all of your support, for everyone here, for the Attorney General's office, for the district attorneys, because the reality is if our communities aren't safe, literally nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. And so that's why this is so important. So by way of background, when I was a district attorney, I was in a courtroom just like this every day, in front of judges, in front of juries, talking to victims for many, many, many years. And what I learned as that time went on was that, we are very good as prosecutors at putting people in jail. And if someone breaks into my house and burglarizes my home, I want them prosecuted. But the reality is at the end of the day, I would rather no one ever break in my house. And so as time went on, and people became thoughtful in law enforcement and prosecutors, what can we do to make our community safer? What can we do to lower taxpayer dollars? What can we do to keep families together? What's the right thing to do? And it's help get people treatment before they commit these terrible crimes. And that's substance abuse treatment. That's behavioral health treatment. That's mental health treatment. It is so critical. And I know anyone that's done this job, I have no doubt every law enforcement officer in here will tell you that the vast majority of people they come into contact with in some way, shape, or form are in the throes of addiction. They are in the middle of some just awful mental health crisis. And they're trying to find their way. And so what this does is it very simply gives law enforcement a tool to use to help get people into treatment. My philosophy on criminal justice is what I call accountability and redemption. You have to hold people accountable. You must have accountability. If you don't have accountability, literally, nothing else matters. Growing up, my dad was a Marine and then he became a school teacher. I promise you there was accountability in my house. Sometimes a little over accountability. And there's data that says that's not good. But, and so to that point, we have to have accountability, but on the other side of it, we have to embrace redemption. And what I mean by that is after people have been held accountable, like this isn't get out of jail free card or something like that. After they've been held accountable, we want them to live a wonderful life, to not commit more crimes, to take care of their family, to pay taxes, to pay restitution to victims, and do all the things that we want someone to do in society. Because as District Attorney Bible referenced, 95% of every single person that goes into a prison will come back out. 95%. And I promise you that all the police chiefs up here have probably arrested people multiple times. They probably have arrested multiple generations of people. And so what we need to do is get to a place where we're holding people accountable. Violent criminals have got to go to jail. Like, this is not what this is about. But for all of those people that are out there suffering, we want to help them before they commit these crimes. So that's what this is about. And I'm so honored to be here. I mean, as a team, we can do anything. We either win as a team or we don't. And that's what you see in front of you today. I want to thank Beaver County for your leadership, for the commissioners. I mean, because this is about your leadership is why this is happening. This is only the 7th county to adopt both the substance side of this, substance abuse, and also the mental health component. And so, I want to thank you. You incorrectly mentioned earlier that you were behind. I actually think that you're stepping up and you guys are being leaders in this space. And all of your constituents and everyone that lives here should be very proud of that. My hope is that we come back a year from now and talk about the amazing outcomes, because the data is overwhelming for these initiatives. There's like over 95% success rate. So I want to thank you for stepping up and being proactive, being collaborative, and working together to keep our community safe. So it's an honor to be here, and everyone have a wonderful day. Thank you. Yep.
So thank you. Is it all right to call you General Sunday?
You get whatever you want. It's okay.
Thank you, General Sunday. I think that sounds awesome. Thank you, General. So now we're going to hear from just quickly from a couple of our treatment providers. So Lisa McCoy.
It's me.
Sorry.
I'm right here standing in your shadow. You put the shortest person by the tallest person. Okay. I'm very excited to be here today. Beaver County Behavioral Health has had a long history of working with our law enforcement partners in Beaver County. We are excited to have the opportunities that the LETI program will offer us to continue and expand our work in this area. We hope this partnership will provide law enforcement with greater range of options that will empower all of us to better assist the public. Through cross-system collaboration, law enforcement and the behavioral health system can proactively intervene when a consumer's symptoms or functioning in the community changes. When individuals receive appropriate treatment, it should decrease the frequency of repeat calls, thereby alleviating some of the officer frustrations, overtaxing our system, and providing better outcomes for the folks here in Beaver County. Preventing unnecessary arrests, particularly when this leads us to delays in obtaining necessary treatment and the cost this has to the system. This approach has the potential to diminish stigma, make assessing treatment more timely, and provide a path to more desirable outcomes for all of us. Similar to a CIT program, it isn't about knowing all the answers or becoming a behavioral health specialist. It's providing law enforcement with the knowledge to recognize symptoms and to know who to reach out to in the behavioral health system to connect community members so their needs can be addressed in the most effective way. So BCBH is pleased to be a partner in the LETI program in Beaver County. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Next, we're going to bring up Michael Edelstein from UPMC.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Edelstein, Manager of Clinical Services. I work at UPMC Western Behavioral Health, Beaver County Crisis. I could say that in crisis, we often see people on the worst day of their lives. They've just really, exhausted all of their coping skills, and they often, unfortunately, find themselves in really tight, binds. We also know that in crisis, that at that point in time, there's great opportunity. And this program is really all about opportunity. There are people we know that will unfortunately struggle for a very long time, whether it's with substance use, whether it's with behavioral health challenges, and they will just, for whatever reason, not seek help. This is a program which will provide people with really a wake-up call, an opportunity to make a decision that could change the trajectory of their lives. I have, in my career, worked with other diversionary programs, and I can tell you that I have had the privilege of seeing people on the first day of entry to those programs scared, maybe not very motivated, but maybe that was the best choice in the moment that they could make, and they decided to take that option, and then following them through the months of treatment, night and day, you see lives change. People become really not just productive, but really thrive. And we are so excited to be part of this program, to be part of the collaboration with the police, who through their compassion are going to be able to give people opportunities which they otherwise may not have had. So thank you so much for this opportunity, and we really look forward to starting. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, next we're going to bring up Kate Lowry. And was it weird or creepy that I was standing right behind you guys?
Oh.
Is that okay? A little bit. Okay, a little bit? All right.
I didn't even...
I'll try to slide to the side a little bit. But come on up, Kate.
I'm not creeped out. I'm fine.
Okay, stand right behind you.
Hello, everybody. It is so exciting to be here together. No matter how each and every one of us got here, what we have in common, we're all public servants. And it's great to be sharing this initiative today together to make Beaver County better and safer and stronger and healthier. Today, I'm grateful to be a Pennsylvanian, and I'm grateful to be a Beaver Countyan. Beaver County Behavioral Health has had a long-standing collaborative relationship with our local law enforcement agencies. Through our numerous projects, we have leveraged our resources in an effort to restore those suffering with behavioral health disorders to wellness and to build stronger, secure communities. Today, with the initiation of LETI, under the leadership of our Pennsylvania Attorney General, our District Attorney, and our Beaver County Board of Commissioners, we will have an additional tool and the additional resources to further that mission all together as the public servants that we are. People with mental health and substance use disorders are not bad people who need to get good. They are sick people who need to get well. We come here today with a message of hope for healing and recovery, and I am grateful and honored to be a part of this team and to share this space with all of you. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kate. And last but certainly not least, we have Hopewell Township Police Chief Don Sedlak, who's going to say a few words on behalf of law enforcement.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you, everybody. This is a great opportunity. What an initiative. I grew up in Beaver County, and Beaver County has one of the best foundations for resources and networking that I've ever seen. And this gives us an opportunity to push that community policing initiative and to offer help to our citizens in our community. There's nothing worse than they were talking about seeing someone at their lowest of lows and saying, hey, we're taking you to jail. And we all know insanity, right? Redoing the same thing over and over, but expecting different results. And that's recidivism. And this is one of those programs that helps push community policing and helps us to offer to our citizens an opportunity to make themselves better and help guide them rather than thinking that arrest is going to solve the problem. And so I'm really fortunate to be here today. And I know when we call Beaver County Mental Health, when we call all the resources throughout the county, we get quick response and we get support for our citizens, and that goes a long way. We get a lot of comments from our citizens when we try to help them rather than to solve the problem through arrest. So this gives us another tool and another opportunity to do that. So thank you, and I'm looking forward to working on the program. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All
All right, thank you so much, Chief. And And once again, just thank you all for being here. Thank you guys for all being here and standing up here with me. And thank you again to our Attorney General for being here. So that concludes today's press conference, and have a great day.